Don't do these things with your limited liability company, particularly if it's a real estate limited liability company. We see 5 things that people do all the time to goof up their limited liability companies and to perhaps lose the protections that they thought they were getting by forming a limited liability company. The first 3 things are pretty common things. We hear about them on the internet, people talk about them all the time, but what I'm going to tell you and what we're going to get into are 2 other things that come up quite often that people don't really talk about. In fact, you probably haven't heard of these things that are goofing up people's LLCs all the time. My name is Patrick McQueen. I'm a real estate and business attorney, and our primary office is located in Arizona. Although I may not be licensed in your state, my guess is that these common pitfalls and these common mistakes are applicable everywhere, applicable in all states. The first common mistake, you'll see this on the internet, you'll hear about this on the internet, and hopefully the person who helped you set up your limited liability company has told you about these things. But the first thing is neglecting the proper paperwork. Failing to file annual reports if they're required in your state, failing to update your articles of organization can all invalidate your LLC. This is something, again, that people talk about all the time over the internet, so it's really nothing new, but stay diligent. The next is mixing finances. Again, mixing personal and business finances can result in the piercing of your corporate veil, making you personally liable for business debts. People talk about this one on the internet. It commonly happens. Keep these things separate. Open a business account. Again, pretty basic advice that you'll find everywhere. Third is no operating agreement. Operating without an operating agreement is like not having an owner's manual. Without an operating agreement, you're at the mercy of your state default rules. Some states require an operating agreement, some don't, but I always recommend that you have one nonetheless. The fourth mistake, your real estate LLC must own your real estate. Have a deed recorded conveying title to your LLC. There's no point in having a real estate LLC if the LLC doesn't own the property in the first place. So again, a deed from you to the LLC is absolutely critical. Fifth mistake is insurance. And this one doesn't get much attention either, but it absolutely should. There's 3 parts to this and 3 mistakes I see happening. Okay, first is failing to obtain insurance in the first place. There's a misconception out there, I think, which is that so long as I have this LLC, I can't lose anything. My LLC will protect you. And that very well may be true, but we've seen plenty of instances when people wish they had insurance in the first place to supplement the protections afforded by that LLC. Second part of this insurance-related mistake issue, when it comes to a limited liability company that owns real estate, is failing to put the insurance in the name of your LLC. So let's say you own an investment property that you use for rentals or use for an apartment complex. Well, what if someone falls down a set of stairs and decides to sue you? You tender your claim, or you tender this person's claim, your renter's claim over to your insurance company, and they say, wait a minute, the insurance is in your own personal name, but the property is owned by the LLC. We're going to deny the claim. The insured is not the limited liability company, which you need it to be. We're not going to cover this claim, and now you're personally liable for those damages. So it is imperative and very important that you have the conversation with your insurance agent to discuss how to properly put your LLC as the named insured or as an additional insured on your policy. The third point when it comes to insurance and real estate limited liability companies involves title insurance. I've seen many instances in which a title company will deny a title claim because the person never informed the title company that the LLC now owns the property. So under the title policy, the named insured was stuck in someone's individual name. They forgot to change their title insurance to the newly formed limited liability company. And guess what? No coverage for your title loss. So those insurance ones and the failure to convey your property to your LLC are the ones that aren't talked about much, but are so very important. I hope this information was helpful to you, and I'm curious to hear from you. Which mistake surprised you the most? Drop us a comment and follow us for more real estate and business tips.